Well, I'm certain Wolffe would love to hear about it.
Actually, sir.
Excellent. It's a long story, and you won't believe it.
Hey, what's happening, everyone? I'm SirJames coming at you guys with another video, and today is the start of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Okay, not really the start, as it's been out for quite some time, but pretty much what this is the start of is that starting every Monday and Friday, at least while I have figures to review, is that I'm going to be doing a figure review of these older Sideshow Collectible clone troopers. As you guys know, I've been trying to get some of these that I have missed out during their initial launch, because back then I wasn't anywhere where I am today, and I have you guys to thank, and also to the work that I do, which is outside of YouTube, to make all this a possibility. And I figured in today's video, especially for a Monday, because it's always the worst day of the week, we're going to be taking a look at Clone Commander Wolffe to help cheer you guys up, because this is such an awesome figure. Definitely still in demand in today's standards. Definitely not the cheapest on the secondhand market, but still nonetheless an awesome figure if you're able to get him up for a good deal, that is. But let's go ahead and pretty much get to it for the unboxing and review and take a closer look at what he has to offer. Alright, so here is the Sideshow Collectibles Commander Wolffe packaging. As you can see, it's very simple all the way around, giving you some nice examples or maybe inspirations of what kind of poses you want to use for your figure. Now, this guy came out, I believe, in 2014. As far as where it stands in today's terms, especially on the secondhand market, he is quite up there in popularity, along with the ARC Troopers and the 501st Deluxe. So pretty much anything involving Wolffe or Wolfpack troopers is definitely going to be up there for sure. Now, this is using the actual, a little bit of an older school packaging that Sideshow used to do a lot of the times before they changed it, where basically the figure is incorporated to one side of the packaging, the majority or a ton of accessories, if you will, is located on the other, and with a little bit of a nice bio description down the center. Now, you guys know that in the Clone Wars, we didn't get to see a ton of Commander Wolffe or the Wolfpack troopers, but we do recall the very first episode involving them, which is back in season 1, the beginning of season 1, and in the description it talks about basically the major loss the Wolfpack 104th Battalion suffered. It's talking about, you know, the separatist weapon with the ion cannon that pretty much devastated and just about annihilated the entire company, including Plo Koon. However, what's really nice is that towards the bottom section here, it states that the majority of the Wolfpack perished in the Onslaught and Chaos Turbofire laser fire. Wolffe, along with Koon, Boost, and Sinker, were the only surviving members. After the loss of his comrades, Wolffe had the battalion's armor changed to honor the fallen squad. Dropping the rusty maroon color for the pale blue, the team's Wolffe logo would also see a redesign, despite the first setback of the new members of the Wolfpack are as tight-knit as they come, and their scarred stoic leader has no problem inspiring their loyalty. So a really nice description of that, and I quite like that indeed. So let's go ahead and start with getting the accessories out of the box first. Simple like that. And we'll save the figure afterwards. So packaging is actually pretty straightforward and nothing too crazy here. And one of the things that I really like, again, about the Sideshow Collectible figures is that you come with a ton of accessories at the time. Nowadays, you know, depending on what's coming out, especially from Hot Toys, you'll be lucky to get this many different accessories. Then again, it really kind of depends on the figure. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of just put all this to the side here. Alright, so taking a look at the accessories box first, we actually have a head sculpt here, and Commander Wolffe actually has a total of 4 head choices. You have a Phase 1, Phase 2 helmet, and you also have 2 head sculpts, believe it or not, which is actually quite surprising for this figure. And I have to say that this head sculpt right here has definitely aged very well in today's standards. Usually a lot of the older figures tend to not have good head sculpts, like they didn't age quite well. But this one here definitely still holds up in 2020 for sure, and one that I'll be proud to display him with, which is actually what I'm going to be doing with mine. Also with this, you do get 2 extra feet right here, and basically it's in a bent up way, so if you want to pose him doing a pretty much like a running pose or something like that, you do have that option. And another thing I really like about the Sideshow clone troopers is that each and every single extra hand or feet comes with these extra pegs instead of just a couple pegs that you get out of the box. As far as hands go, you do have 2 weapon holding hands here. And then let's see, you have 2 palm out hands. You do have 2 thumbs up. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. There you go. I need to figure out how to incorporate that. You have 2 kind of more of an open holding hands, so you can kind of rest his weapons depending on which weapon and which way you have it displayed. And then you also have some singling hands here. So you have for the, which one side is it? This is the left hand side. So you have the focus here, the 2 finger out, spread open, the 2 finger and a pointing gesture, or you have the 1 finger point, which is something that you don't want to do if you work for Disney. Don't want to do a 1 finger point, but you want to do a 2 finger or open hand. I don't know, I was trying to incorporate something there. You also get his jetpack. Nicely detailed, weathered, and the nice pattern there. That's something I also like about the Wolfpack troopers, is that they have a nice design element for their armor. And you also have one of his weapons. I will say that I actually have to kind of glue in the rifle for mine. A lot of common things for these older figures is that the rifle here at the barrel definitely comes undone, but it's an easy fix with a little bit of glue. It's just kind of one thing to notice. And this little bottom section here actually does kind of fold out here, which I don't think is ever used in the show, not that I could recall. But that usually doesn't, you know, stay up there. So again, that's also an easy way to fix too. Alright, so moving on over to the actual figure itself. I dropped a hand here. You do get 2 of these sidearms. Apologies, I don't know the actual name of the weapons, but I'll give you guys a closer look in a second. You do get a thermal detonator or grenade. Another head sculpts. The figure itself. And you also get a display base, which I actually have one over here that I'm going to be using. Now there is 2 different variations of Commander Wolffe in terms of the figure, where there's the standard or the deluxe. The only difference with the deluxe version is that you would get a fancier display base rather than a basic generic base like this one is here. I do like the exclusive ones, but I find that some of the figures with the exclusive bases, they tend to be a little bit more money on the secondhand market. So I just kind of get whatever is the cheapest option between the figures for sure. Alright, so first off, here is your little thermal detonator. It's just really tiny here. You also have the blasters here that you could put into his holsters on his waist. Here is the Phase 1 armor helmet. Personally, I like this one the most between the helmets. And then you also have another head sculpt. Now the difference between this head sculpt versus the other one, which I just might as well bring over actually, is that, as you can see, this one here, the one that's held up quite well in today's standards, is much more severe looking, while this one, his scar is mostly held up, but it's still present for the rest of his life. And he's actually got, hopefully it'll focus in on that, he's actually got the cybernetic eye right in there. And try to bring the other one over. But I will say that this one definitely has shown a little bit of age, and this one still holds up in today's standards in my opinion. I mean, this one's still not too bad, but I like this one the most. And then of course you have Commander Wolffe. That is his Phase 2 helmet. I do feel like the bottom portion of his helmet is a little bit wider than it needs to be, in my opinion. The rangefinder is a fully functional rangefinder, so you can bring that down if you wanted to. Got the Wolfpack logo and emblems on there. Again, the Wolfpack troopers definitely have a really nice design to them. And that's for sure. Now, all the clone troopers for the most part are pretty much the same as far as articulation goes. Usually one of the things that you have to always consider when you pose these guys is mostly involving their armor, because their armor is going to have limitations in terms of how much you can actually bend a certain joint to a certain length. Like for example, like within the arms, if you're not paying attention, sometimes this portion of the armor will kind of get caught and sometimes push the peg out. But you're still able to get most of the basic type of poses that you would want to get out of a clone trooper figure for sure. But like I said, it's always keep in mind in terms of any clone trooper that you get, whether or not the newer Hot Toys one is going to have a much more of a better result has yet to be seen until they come out in 2022. But again, all these older clone trooper figures are basically the same body structure. It's just, again, that one thing you have to keep in consideration is the armor is going to have some limitations in terms of how far you can bend a certain way, and it's pretty much how it's always going to go. But let me know what you guys think here about Commander Wolffe here. He's definitely, out of all these Sideshow Clone Trooper releases that they've had, he's definitely up there with my favorites, along with the ARC Troopers for sure. So I could see why this guy is in high demand. And the fact that not only do you get a really nice figure that looks great, but the fact that you pretty much have a total, and let me just bring them up here. The fact that you have a total of 4 different choices in terms of what you want to display as far as the head goes is actually quite amazing. And again, a nice array of accessories. And you know what? I have to say that if you could find this guy at a good deal, which is going to, your mileage will vary for sure. I would easily recommend him for sure if he is something of your interest. Now, I do want to let you guys know that on Friday, we are going to be taking a look at the Wolfpack Trooper, which is going to make for a nice companion piece to go with Commander Wolffe for sure. I do want to try to get more Wolfpack Troopers, but this guy is definitely not cheap. He's definitely cheaper than getting Wolffe, but he's definitely up there for sure. But let me know what you guys think about this guy in the comment section down below. But if I were to give him a rating, especially for the time of his release, which I believe was 2014, I'd easily give this guy a full 10 out of 10. And even in today's standards 2020, he still holds up. Again, the Phase 1, Phase 2, and one of the 2 head sculpts in here definitely still holds up in today's standards. So he's definitely a good recommendation for sure. But once again, if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys on the next video review.